G'day guys, we're back for RacingRant preview for Saturday tomorrow.
Who's
I'm
this
back.
guy in the middle?
Yeah, here I am.
Hi, Glenn. Glenn, are you a special guest?
Yeah, special guest. Wasn't
Seems a bit like I'm a special guest too.
Yeah, you haven't been around much either, good.
Jesus.
So I've been away, I've had weddings and sickness and ill health and that, but I'm back on board and back stronger than ever. A couple of shows a week and looking forward to it. Thick card tomorrow, guys.
You've got to love a Rosehill card. I even got so excited I watched Chris Toogood do his little video.
Oh wow.
So nowadays the ATC either get Navesh or Chris Toogood to do a little cameo in front of the camera.
Oh yeah.
And Chris said, oh well, we had a frost on Tuesday and we've put 3 mils of irrigation on and we put a bit of fertiliser on and it's a good 3. Anyway, so last week we had a heavy track at Randwick where it would have been good at Rosehill. This week we're back to Rosehill and it is good. And the rail is out 6 metres, which is a slight complication. It will enhance the on-pace aspect of this meeting.
Yeah.
So look, I think leaders from wide draws are interesting, and I've found Deanne to fit the bill there a couple of times later in the card. Race 1 is a cracking 2-year-old race. Our favourite is Intrinsic at $4, and I actually know the owner of Intrinsic. We go over to Scott Murray, who I went to uni with, and I took him out to a Golden Slipper meeting the day Inspired won the Slipper, and he's been hooked ever since.
So basically, but what, another uni student that, you know, like you knew from school, that like you meet them, they're, you know, they don't know how to find their way home, but they're multimillionaires, one of those guys?
Yeah. He's one of those, but like loves racing, and
Good on him.
He owned the mum of this, Intrinsic, and he'd be out there at Rosehill tomorrow.
Good on him.
$6.50 is Revenir. $6 actually is the second pick, Kanga's Eye. $8.50 number 1 Falconic returning. $9.50 Silence. $12 Pendaloke and Charlie Chap.
You didn't give us the price for the favourite there, mate?
$4 Intrinsic. Speed will be pretty solid here with Pendaloke and Jungleized. Jungleized now with Brad Widdop. Pendaloke still with Gerald Ryan, obviously. Radiant Choice from the deep. Last Starfighter will be making a play for the lead, which seems to give Revenir a spot just behind the speed. Intrinsic back on the inside. Glenn, you may as well just get going.
Just hit it straight. I think we'll look
rolling.
Gord, how you going, mate?
Oh, you want me to go?
No, I'm going. I don't know if we said hello to you. Did we say hello to you?
Yeah.
Oh, we did, do we? Oh. I'm 2-7 on top, guys. Kanga's Eye. I know it's trialled really well. I know a bit about the horse. Adam will sit back on it on the inside there and going on the run of the Gym Crack. Even though it was $81 that day, I thought it hit the line. I thought it should have won the Gym Crack easily to beat number 10, Charlie Chap, who come off the soft pace at Rosehill the other day. One of the few horses to make a lot of ground all the way straight. The Viridine race is a bit so-so, but that's what I was tipping it for second. And I thought Revenir did a good job at Gosford, guys. I was tipping it for third.
Did a very good job. Oh, great. So you want to talk about this favourite, which seems, I didn't find it quite the way the market's found it.
Well, it's on a 7-horse race. It beat AC Tong, who I know cannot pick its feet up, and pretty fast for third, who's failed since. Like, just, what's it done? Why is it favourite?
Gate 1 with B. Abdullah, who of course leads the premiership, and on a day where you've only got half the jockeys, B. Abdullah is going to be very marketable.
He's very juicy and he rides horses really well, but that doesn't mean you can't pick him up.
The horse has done nothing wrong, but I'm against it.
I don't know. Radiant Choice was more impressive on the day.
Yeah.
And I'm not tipping Radiant Choice here, but just the win was solid. It was a Bowman-esque sort of special. She didn't appear to have she wasn't spearing away from it.
So you're saying ignore the times, Mark? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that the times help Intrinsic, but visually Radiant Choice seemed to have more scope.
But again, have you guys been noticing the amount of mistakes these days at Racing New South Wales at the site for the? You know, I watched the horse the other day run 4th or 4 in a barrier trial, and there's 5 runners in the barrier trial.
Yeah.
It's just like stacks of little anomalies all the time now.
That'd be Riser's fault.
Okay, well, whose ever fault is, but
been a few time mistakes.
Well, that's why I'm getting a bit suspect with times. You know, like it's run half a second.
You cannot trust the trial times because they're all hand timed.
Well, we've got 900 metre hand trials now, and
they're doing it in over a minute.
And doing it over a minute. A minute 9 seconds. Ridiculous. And then the other day we had an 1100 metre trial and they jumped out the 800 metre barriers. Like, there's little mistakes everywhere. Right, there never used to be that. I don't know. I don't want to get stuck in anything.
I think they're more and more obvious because your expectations are heightened.
Look, Intrinsic ran about 0.4 of a second quicker than the other horse, Radiant Choice, but let's not forget, that's Thursday Wyong form, isn't it?
Yeah, look, let's talk about the city form. The lead-up race you mentioned Viridine. Charlie Chap did a little too well in that race because
Yeah, it looks a bit pooey.
I was looking at Silence going, well, you're fully seasoned now, even though you're 4th run first prep. And you started shortest in the lead up. Are you ready? And I'm going, oh, Charlie Chap just went too well.
Charlie Chat went really well in that race, but especially with the position it was in, and Jay Ford gets down tomorrow to 51.5. Oh my lordy, the real lightweight too.
Oh, the flyweight.
I think it sits there in about 6
Charlie
or 7
Chap's
spots.
got a bit of ability. It's just got to improve its manners. I mean,
It's got a bit of ability.
yeah, I'm not interested in it.
But Manning Yard Mile there for me as well, because I want to have a look at Falconic. It's an interesting runner. Has Last Starfighter improved? Thought it did an okay job. It's a race. Look, it's a juicy race, guys.
I reckon there's close to a moral in this race.
Right.
Good.
Right,
Come on, release,
Gordon.
Gordon.
Release, Gordon.
Number 7, Kanga's Eye.
My tip.
Those trials were absolutely awesome. It's
flying.
got more ability than any of these by a country mile. If it gets the run, it wins.
Adam Hieronymus, good man.
So no one cares that it's resuming at 1,200 off a, like a I don't know, 2-year spell or what.
Well, look, I'd sort of, you know how he does cute things.
Anthony Cummings.
Anthony Cummings. He's actually given it 2 trials, and the last one was over 900 metres. So
2 trials.
I'm saying he's put a little bit more work into this one than normal. And I'm just going on the fact that I think it's clearly got more ability than anything else. A couple of others I'm interested in.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, Falconic I'm interested in. And one that's been given no chance its first 2 starts back, and it's going to be super long odds, is number 12, African Raymer.
Suited back
Yeah,
in, isn't it?
definitely. Like that set up 11 to 14 last week.
Back to 12.
Back to 12.
Heavy to dry.
Look, she's
Baker's been a bit
over
quiet lately.
Over the odds at $21. Kanga's Eye is right there in the vanguard of chances in this race, but Rev and I thought we really was very professional at Gosford.
Okay.
He like the leader had all the aces there, and he grounded into the dirt. And Ty England is one of your go-to riders tomorrow. The horse
He's a good rider.
just sits there,
He's a good bloke.
and it's my pick in a juicy race 1. Race 2, again over 1,200, this time for the 3-year-olds, $2.70 New Universe, $6.50 Mediterranean, $6.50 Arbitsam. I was told how to pronounce this, it's a German word, Arbitsam.
Arbitsam.
What does it mean?
$9.
The damned by work hard.
Yeah, it's something to do with that. Like slave labour or something like that.
There you are.
That's a good me.
$9 Dissolute, $9 Test the World. Jeez, jokers on this show. $12 Insensata, $14 Faraway Town, $17 Jeannot.
Hard not to like the Germans, isn't it?
Anyway,
Can I just tell you a quick
not,
German story? Just quickly.
Look, we've been missing.
So I was watching Top 20, because there's just nothing on TV, whenever YouTube comes up. Because YouTube comes up, because when I watch the rant, the YouTube thing, so
they suggest things to you.
So was Top 20 tennis moments? So I thought, oh, what's that? Fucking 20 was, I don't know, 19. I got to 18 and I turned off because it was just stupid. But 18 was like, Steffi Graf, at the end of her career, got fucking untold amount of money. She's about to serve somewhere and someone yells out, Steffi, will you marry me? And she just stopped and she said, have you got much money?
Well, she found one with money.
She just thought, how driven are you? It was great. Like there she was. She's worth 50 million.
I thought you were going to go for the stabbing. Who was the
No, the
Martina Hingis.
No,
Yeah.
not Martina.
Sellers.
Monica Sellers.
Sellers.
Monica Sellers. Yeah.
That's right, Monica Sellers.
You got the wrong M's. But anyway, have you got much money? That's what came out of it, which was pretty funny. Anyway, that's my German story for the day. I don't want to wrap the Germans too much.
That's great. Well, this German horse, we know what he'll be doing, right? Just labelled urgent. So, if you're looking for maps tomorrow, here's a map that you know what's going on. So Arbitsam is just going to be gunning for the front, which means that Test the World looks like it does a bit of breeze facing. Jeannot hops into a handy spot. I'd say Dissolute won't be as far back as recently from gate 1. But
So all things being equal, New Universe gets 6 lengths off him in the run and makes it more of a good thing.
it looks hard to beat.
Tier 270 seems a fair price for a horse. It really is going.
Well, God, you're our favourite
You're at
man.
New Universe. What are you saying, moral?
Absolute moral.
No, fucking moral.
I'm a little bit disappointed because there was a few other horses in this race that I would have been interested in backing if they weren't against New Universe.
Yeah.
And that is 7 and 8 Arbitsam and Insensata. But this is a group horse. None of these others are. That run, or even though it won by only a small margin last start,
it only won by
super
small
impressive.
margins because the 1100.
Yeah, exactly.
So gain to the 1200 now.
1200 now, better than these.
He's just going to dog trot
Just
up behind him
wins.
here, Avdullah. He's going to. He won't put the left-hand blinker on. He's just going to wait. Straight through it goes. Looks immoral.
No ridiculously biased track to get you into trouble there either.
See, it
It's
looks a
perfect.
dead set 5-4 chance, guys, and $2.70 I think is very fair today at Friday.
So Glenn Pollitt's tipping you favourites. He's a changed man. You've had
Freshened up well, yes. I beat Inglis at checkers, 9 out of 11 games for everybody that was interested. And then he,
How'd you let 2 get away?
I was feeling sorry for him. Got to look after the half-abos. He's a nice man, Greg. But no, it was good in the hospital. Thanks for all the concern out there, everybody. It was good. Very kind of you.
Glenn was he was betting double or nothing, and he actually lost the last game. So
Lost
lost
the last 2 games. So actually, I lost on the result.
Well, yes.
Story of my life. I was up 4.6 million, then back to square, and then I did 100,000 when we started again. So, Greg, I've got to give you 100, mate. It'll be sweet.
He needs some money.
Oh, it's just a joke. Hasn't he got like some sort of? Isn't he sad at the moment too? Yeah, he's sad, isn't he? What's he got? Depression?
Yeah.
Must be awful in $1 million a year. Everyone wants to suck you.
Must be awful. I'd say it actually would be awful, Glenn.
Really?
Gord, dangers here.
Yeah, the 2 I mentioned, but I don't even know whether they're dangerous.
Look,
I mean,
the danger's
Glenn says
Mediterranean.
5-4. You know, I'm a little bit more aggressive than that.
Now, Mediterranean, isn't it the biggest myth of all time? It never settles in the front half of the field. It's got that
Enormous
one
trial,
win
I thought, mate.
yeah, I know.
Great
Yes,
trial. And I think we're going to put up with a lot of good Glyn for about the next 3 months. He needs to resurrect his career. How was the rant about Glyn's decision without me?
We're waiting for you.
Oh, okay.
We're waiting.
So, like even launch coach at the week at the evens, just you got no idea how well written it was written by Glyn. So I think we can really look forward to a lot of good Glyn for 3 months while he resurrects all his rides and gets back in the good books with everybody out there. He's done a marvellous job, and the stewards have found him not guilty on that ride. And I think Glyn thinks he was not guilty. I think the stewards found him not guilty, and I think everyone else in racing thinks, well, really? But you know,
no, it's one of those cases where he can get off.
well, the problem with it, and I don't want to rant on about it, the problem with it is going forward, it leaves a lot of rides now when you want to miss runs, not take runs. I didn't go lesser. I didn't circumnavigate the field because I thought, first of all, we put with Craig Williams saying, in my heart, I thought the best thing to do was not hit that horse. In my heart, which was a beauty, Craig, in my heart. I don't even want to say jockeys don't have hearts because that's rude. But then Glyn, he blamed his navigation that he made a mistake. It's a dangerous precedence. It's a dangerous precedence.
Did you hear Mumsy the other day? He was saying, oh, I've got to do everything straight because otherwise we're in trouble of losing our licence. It was about some ridiculous little technicality. And I'm thinking like laundering $40 or $50 million.
And
that doesn't count.
You didn't get any.
Well, I think it maybe it's put them on notice.
They put them on notice, but nothing happens. They could do the same thing again. There's no problems.
Yeah.
That's life.
They'd hush.
I know
it
it's
up,
life. It's
That's
funny.
life.
Life's
That's
great.
life. I just want to mention something else about this race.
Great
Is
work
there?
there. Yeah. What is it?
Dissolute is a pretty average beast, but he's racing at his absolute peak. And did
Absolute
take
peak.
the line the other day.
Did it take long? Over 1100 mark, 1200. What do you think of 12?
I know. But he's just come very solid, and he just. Anyway, he
Does
just,
look to get a nice run too.
well, it just. I was surprised he was as long as $9.
I'm not. It's got to be $9.
All right, so okay. Should we just forget about the race? The top one's hard to beat.
You'd agree the top one's hard to beat, wouldn't you?
5-4.
5-4.
Race 3. This time the favourite is near enough to 5-4. Dagny is $2.40. Wangwar is $4.20. $6 Labdian. $8.50 Countess Marinov. $11 Ruby Rampart. $15 the much maligned now Cottage. $21 Rosa Ruby and Giant's Daughter. Now, there's a very interesting fact about this race.
Yes.
Is that Countess Marinov, who we're all deathly sick of, I understand, but hasn't led since Deanie rode it in October last year against Daisy Doom.
It won that day, didn't it?
No, it ran second to Daisy Doom.
All right.
Remember Daisy Doom jumped up to the 1400 and
Yep.
said, I'm
Yeah.
a serious horse now? Deanne Pena has not ridden it since. It has not led since. And it must lead this race.
I think that's great information. It's just a bit chewed up, though, isn't it? Like, as you
Very
say.
chewed up. I understand it's very chewed up, but we're talking about a horse, Dagny, that's racing well, but it got a perfect run the other day.
Well, it's
So
David Payne tomorrow. It's 9th up.
it's all good.
It's only 9th up.
I'm just saying.
He's just trying to get it
So
fit.
what's your price range with Payne? Anything over 20s you might consider?
Yes, over 20s and first up.
Well,
Yeah. Okay. So,
okay, so that's, yeah.
so no and no.
$7,
No,
9th up.
No and no.
Hard
no and
for me
no.
to beat.
No and no. Well, you know, the lead-up race here a fortnight ago, you know, Dagny, Van Var and Labdian, they just all poked up the inside there. They got sweet
Well,
runs.
Dagny just PR'd through, like everything moved out the way. It was just like, it won how it was backed.
All right, so speak about this race then.
Looks to get a nice run again.
That's why I'm saying that a leader is, you know, the chasers are a bit sus.
Okay, well, I'm taking that on board, Mark, and I think that's an interesting thing you bring up. It was a race that left me completely cold. I tipped 1 from 3, big deal. I will say one thing about 3, it's absolutely flying. Doesn't have great racing style though. And
No, it doesn't help itself. But
number
it's
1 tomorrow's 4th up. I thought with the 61 kilos, it might get out a little bit. We might be able to get on because I thought going up 4 kilos, oh my wordy. But like it looked to PR the other day, it looked to get the job done, and from the 200 to the winning post, it sucked all the way to the line, just like under T-Berry looking around.
Sort of trying to go outside then inside, and sort of it was a little bit funny that ride. I think it's a Glyn-like horse that too.
All right, Gord, where are you going?
No, Dagny's on top, won't be betting in the race.
Yeah, mate,
No,
I'm similar.
what about a 280? Because I'm thinking it can get to 280.
I think you can get 2 to 1 tomorrow.
Yeah.
$3 get you? $3 get you good.
You know, I'd just like to pick my races and
Give God
Yeah,
33.
okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Stay
what about
right.
your old stable horse Cottage? That's now 3rd up. She had a big break between runs there. They've both been on. Well, first one was on very wet track.
and
Then
soft.
the last one was on a little bit of a wet track. Now it's in the dry. I thought it was a horse they could back tomorrow.
it could.
It was in the 3 wide line the other day. Dagny, Wanwar and Labdian were all on the inside.
When I looked at it, I thought it was 2nd up because of this stupid thing up here. But you're right, it is 3rd up really, because it ran 9th. It's had the 73 days off with the 2 trials and another run. Like, it is 3rd up.
Sorry to get everyone interested in a race they don't want to be interested in.
Well, that's the great joy of our game, is how interesting it is. It's just so stimulating.
All right, so the highway is race 4. And the good old connections have aligned again here. Zamex, Ty Anglin, Matthew Dunn, $3.40. $5 Barbass, $6 Mr Marmalade, $6.50 Autumn, $9 Cliff, $16 Superoo, $18 Call the Captain, $18 Marco Man. Now, it's a situation where you see Ty Anglin and Matthew Dunn, you go, oh, I better be, you know, nice and kind and go looking for this. And
3rd up,
I did, and
trial since.
doesn't matter. The market always seems to do better, and the market.
What'd you mark it? 7 to 2.
Yeah.
If anyone wants Landlord's prices for $11, ring me.
Anyway, this is a there's a reasonable amount of tempo in this race with Barbass Superoo, Autumn and Cliff from the deep, although Cliff's coming back in distance. Call the Captain and Mr Marmalade posse up. So Zamex will be behind those on the fence. What do you do with this favourite, Glenn?
Tip it on top, Mark. Tipping number 3 here to beat number
its
1.
form doesn't look any good.
That's not bad.
What do you say?
One
about
at
its
Ipswich,
form?
won a Class 1's next start. Went to town over a mile, 3-year-old handicap. Then, you know, Volpino started like $3.80 at one stage. Then, you know, had a break.
It's been beaten on the Saturday at the Gold Coast at its last
Did you
start.
see the run?
Right, talk to us about it.
And the winner's come out in frank form as well. Just completely.
Sorry, the winner has done what?
It's come out and won. It's like on Saturday or something like that, or some
Right,
sort of
Nick
decent
Canova,
metropolitan run.
Yeah,
Look, it does look an enormous run. I've got to say that, Mark. I like it.
But the thing is, it misses the kick all the time. Do I want to take something? Well, I suppose it misses the kick by that much that the barrier 2 isn't a problem because it's just going to be clear last.
Right, it's that far back. Well, that's
And
not,
see, that's not a
great.
percentage play for me, so I'm against it.
You're assuming it's going to miss the kick, though.
It has its last 2 starts. That's this preparation. I can't see why it's going to change. Didn't even jump with him in the
It's an
trial.
unusual
either.
thing for a horse to miss a start.
Yeah, well, I think it's a really bad sign.
Guys, I was tipping 3 from 1 here. If you can find something that's got a better chance, tell me.
Mr.
No,
Marmalade.
that's good, solid. Barbass, sorry, we'll just finish with Glenn's Barbass has had 3 runs back from a long spell and got put to the sword the other day. B. Alyssa, he's one of your riders.
Yeah, I think he's a really good rider, Bobby Alyssa. He doesn't like us much, but that's all right.
Doesn't he?
Oh, I mean, he used to tweet all the time about what I said. Like, you know, I think he must be cracking jokes, Bobby. But he's a terrific rider.
Yeah, terrific rider.
And I think he's a great character of racing.
Yeah.
He's like a white Serge Lisney, you know what I mean? Like, he's just...
He's not really that white.
Who, Bobby? Yeah, he's more white than Serge.
By the way, I mean, you have a look, last preparation, Barbass, second to Skylight Glow, finished in front of Akatur over 1,400 metres at Ramming. Like, Jesus Christ, but I don't know whether it's...
Was really well back that day.
Yeah.
Bobby's one of those great characters of racing, you know, and Serge Lisney, they're great characters. And you know, when you do your trials and all your track work or whatever, you see Serge Lisney's name. These are real workers in this game.
So, what are you saying with Mr. Marmalade Barrier 1, Dean Pagno?
Well, this is what I'm saying.
Really aggressive? Yeah.
Being a good spot. Look at
I don't know. Well, what's it doing trained by Danny Williams?
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
9 starts at 7 places, but then 106 days, so
Like,
it's no
so-
trial.
No. Well, you take a horse. Sorry, Greg Bennett retires, and so you go, oh well, I better give this horse to Danny Williams.
Yeah.
That's weird, isn't it?
That's the same sort of trainer.
Okay. You mean you want a country trainer?
Well, you're not going to give it to Sue Waller.
No.
So you're going to give it to a country trainer. So who?
Well, you'd think it'd stay with the bloke who's taken over his stables
What,
up at
Brett
Scone.
Kavanagh?
Yeah.
Possibly. Right.
Maybe.
I just see one of Class 1 last start beat Manhattan Mist and Milk and Brandy. Never heard of him again. R. Murray winning at Scone always sets off alarm bells with me. Because you got the Pirates
Best form talk here.
Well, you get the Pirates of Penzance working hot and leaving the girl rider out of the sling, and then she wins the race.
Yeah.
The old Pirates.
I think Mr. Marmalade, you can go off the run at Scone over 1,300 metres where it was beaten by Careless Choice. I thought that was a fairly decent run.
Big Ben the Clock ran second.
Yeah, I know, but if you watch Mr. Marmalade, it didn't have all favours, wasn't completely balanced the whole way.
So it should have beaten Big Ben the Clock?
Well, I'm saying it should have
Who's now
been
racing at Katoomba.
It should have been close to Careless Choice.
3 tips.
That is form.
3 and 1's a form here. If one runs up to that run at Randwick and the 2-year-old plate behind Skylock going up, Akatur wins by 4
Nothing
lengths.
wrong with 3 runs back. Honestly, all 3 of those runs are good.
Yeah.
What about this mare of Matthew Dale's that he took it all the way up to 2,000, now he's brought it all the way back to 1,200. She looks an honest thing.
I think it's got a good chance too.
So so Gord, you've got a really good handle on this race because you seem to know these horses really quite well. How should we play it?
Give us the winning number,
The
Gord.
play is scared of 3, but low percentage play, particularly at that price.
Righto,
So I'm
fair
going to be
enough.
against. It's going to be a lay for me.
Right.
Barbass, question mark, but has shown in its career has the ability to win the race. Mr. Marmalade, got a sneaking suspicion it's really ready to go and is going to take a position. I'm just interested in what Pagno does from Barrier 1. Autumn is a chance. Obviously been trained different this preparation, more suited to these distance, I assume. Did beat Rips at Canterbury, which is reasonably good form. And there's a sneaky long
That's
shot
Canberra, man.
that I'm interested in. It's number 9, Frisky One. It's only ever had 2 runs over the 1,400 metres and it's absolutely smashed the opposition
And
on
didn't
both
they
occasions.
work it out when it got back to the 1,400 metres? Like it starts at millions at the 12 and then goes up to the 14. Of course, in distance, it's a course and distance winner, of course. And it's just like, no, today's the day.
Yeah, and beat some all right horses in Lost to Sock and Chandana. So I'm saying this is a 1,400 metre absolute specialist. And what is it, 30 to 1 or something like that?
Speaking of Chandana, we've got Shadana and Chandana.
Yeah.
And I know it's puerile, but someone said, oh, this Palantino's a good thing at Warwick Farm today. I don't know why it's changed trainer from Darren Weir to Godolphin. But it looks
Palomino.
Palomino, yeah.
You're going to love the
So
Twiddle.
what price was Frisky One?
$26, I think.
It's $21. Good.
All right, yeah, one more race in part 1. It's pretty exciting so far, isn't it?
It is,
Sunny,
and it's a 3-year-old over 1,500. And gee, I found this a hard race.
This is a hard race, guys.
Okay, so where do we start? $6.50 Cordero, $6.50 Just Dreaming, $7 Picardy Rose, $9 Wayanka, $9 Walk the Streets, $10 Volpe, $11 El Venetian, $16 Show 'em, $16 Rosito, $18 Fleeting Strike, Glenn's horse from a fortnight back, $21 Bar. Just Dreaming looks to take it up, although El Venetian may have other ideas. Wayanka doesn't give away his barrier. He must posse up. I had Crown him next pick, but something from the deep could make a play to
Venetian goes. Venetian barrier 7, Hieronymus going up distance gate. It takes it up.
All right, okay. Well, let's say just grounding Crown.
Yeah, and then you got Wayanka back on the inside. I agree with that. Look, it's a really thick, interesting race, guys, and there's lots of different angles. I thought, I mean, where do you start? I eventually settled on number 11, guys, which ran second to Polaris Jack, who's come off that, made frank the form again. I like the fact it's coming back 100 metres. I like the fact it's third up. I know it was only like a Wednesday race the other day, but I thought...
Sorry, what is...
You have to mention the freshen up's done you wonders there, Glenn, you know?
Why?
Well, you declared one moral to me on Wednesday and it got up. And I was sort of umming and ahhing about backing it, and then as soon as you
never um and ah when you're fresh.
What am I thinking?
You never um and ah when you're fresh. Let's tip a look. What were you saying, Marco? Go.
Oh, yes, you've got the chair.
Oh, no.
You've got the talking stick.
All right, to beat Cordero, who is a lightly raced, promising Hawks runner, and did a good job. But look, there's a stack of different angles. I thought Wayanka's drawn to get a PR. I thought Vega was big odds at 25 to 1. And what else did I think? I want to have a little look at Ready for Success in the parade ring because it ticks my boxes.
That's
David
right.
Payne, 78 days off, trial since. Rory Hutchings riding and $26.
Looks perfect, doesn't it?
That's just stamped everything.
Just ticked everything. Yeah. Rory Hutchings, super
I've
rider.
got David Payne for you later.
So should I write the message from the yard already? Ticks all boxes.
Well, I never know what to say, so I just write ticks all boxes. And that sounds a bit Clint.
Sorry, Glenn, can you just point us in the direction of the Saturday form here?
Yeah, I can't.
It doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. I can't, Mark.
You know, you've got Wayanka and Fleeting Strike who've had their last start on a Saturday, but
I've won on
really?
Wednesdays. Showham's a Wednesday type horse. Fleeting Strike's a Tuesday horse at Kembla. Uptown Lad's a Thursday horse at Gosford. Vegas a Wednesday. Yeah, that's why I went for number 11. Because that was my biggest problem at first. By the time I got down to it, I thought, oh, it's only a Wednesday race, but it's Polaris Jack, Lord Macau, they go all right.
So many of these horses are linked as far as their runs or who they've run against, and I was really struggling to line up which I thought was the superior of them, so I went for DF. So I went for 13 Volpe. It's only ever got to 1,400 metres and above twice in its career, and it smashed them. I know it was in weak standard races, but it did win by 4 lengths last start over the 16.
Well, it needed to win by 4 lengths last start.
Yeah, I know.
That's not a wrap. That's like a must.
Yeah, well, and it did it, didn't it? So I'm starting with the negative there, poor form, but it did annihilate them. So that's just even. And I'm looking for some DF here because I think all the others
reserve from Wednesday.
All the others are sort of like linked to each other, and I don't think any of them have a lot of quality.
Look, I have to agree with what you say, Gord. It is a very fraught race in that sense. And you know, I take issue with Picardy Rose in this race, who dead set had the race put on for it last start at Broadmeadow.
Then wanted to fly it away.
Where, you know, Broadmeadow's just down the outside. Yeah. They went like the clappers. It just found the lane, and there it was. I agree with what you say about Walk the Street, which I have as my number 1 selection. Cordero, everything you said about it is correct.
See, I'm back fresh, doing plenty of form, boys.
Just Dreaming, I think, is an overachiever. She puts herself in the race.
I know a lot of people will say, oh, it comes out of a $400,000 race last start, but I think that form's a bit weak.
Showham, I thought, was poorly positioned by Brown the other day, box seating.
I think it's a horse you're going to be wary of a bit, Marcus. I think I can forecast it getting out in the market and not being hopeless here.
And the other horse I want to talk about is a legless digger, Crown him, but he's like at his peak now. Comes out of that rubbish race, I know, but was probably in the wrong section in that race. And T. England, a go-to man tomorrow. It's a thick race.
He'll get plenty of wages tomorrow, Ty, which is great for Ty. Great news for him.
Yeah, and like maybe you could throw something in the tin. That's the end of part 1.
So.